All right, welcome to Pass the Mic. It is Friday, August 1st, 2025, episode 170. We are on Zoom. Joining me, Michael Gervasi. How are you?
What's up? What's up? We're in August. Oh boy.
Back from your honeymoon.
Yep.
Eh,
Hocking Hills was wonderful.
Okay, and
Never thought I'd say that about anything camping related, but and it really
and in
wasn't, but it was
Ohio.
and in Ohio. Yeah, definitely a different feel to being in that part of the country. I'll leave certain parts of it out to maintain some neutrality on our show, but I will say that the Ohio State Legion down there is very strong. So
Okay, all right. And those of you we are on Zoom, back recording video. You may already see we have a special guest, first guest of the summer, I think. Tessa Nace, welcome, Carlson High School, class of 21. Want to say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for those that don't know me, I'm Tessa Nace. I graduated in 2021 from Carlson, and then I just graduated this May from Wayne State. I am a new grad nurse in a level one trauma center in Detroit.
Excellent. Wayne State, home of the School of Library and Information Science as well. All right, feedback and errors. Not much. Rennie got this one. Rennie, the Ren Dog, Rennie Perez, and Max in our other baseball. My handwriting's so bad. My Mike of the week was Mikhail Garcia, and I said green. Like
oh,
I don't, because my handwriting is so bad, and it's totally my fault. And the Ren Dog caught on it right away, and he thought that both Kent and Max didn't say a word about it. He
wow.
is So I totally botched his last name, all-star third baseman for the Royals. So I got right on that. And then I want to give a error on Kent Sakura, sending us a text on blast asking where the episode was last week, and we specific he
Yeah.
must not have listened 2 weeks ago
Must not
because
way
we
to go,
said we were
Kent.
taking the week off.
Kent's got an excuse though. His son Drew is just moved up north to the UP.
Yeah,
So a lot going on with him. So we'll give him a pass on this one.
true. That's emotional. That's
Yes,
emotional.
absolutely.
Do you got any feedback or errors or anything? That was the one error I
Yeah.
had. I didn't get much more feedback.
Jill Burguy called me old. Come on, Eileen isn't played much at a wedding, much like what Max said. But as I showed both, this is now maybe I am dating myself because it was played at a wedding. But we went to the AI generator and they said it's generally thought of as a song that's played at a wedding.
Tessa, are you familiar
Max,
with "Come On, Eileen"?
I am. I
Okay,
am.
all
Yeah.
right.
Never
Max,
at a wedding, but
never at a
yeah.
wedding. Yeah, see, maybe it is old age. Maybe it's just something I remember from before. But I could tell you this right now, since we're talking about it, the song is gonna be stuck in my head all day today. So thanks, Jill, for that.
We won't sing
Uh
it, so Max doesn't get mad at us.
no, Max gets all mad about that. A couple other things. Rob Raymond has the same take as Jeff Simons about pizza. That bad pizza is still good. Um, let's see here. There was a couple more. Cursive is important to read, as Max brought this up, and I did think about this. I didn't want to geek out, but since Max did, it is important to read historical documents. So that is one part of it that can be important. With regard to cursive, this goes back to what we were talking about with regard to schools and things like that. Gary Bailey, cursive, yes, not penmanship. Learning to write it okay, minimally, but know how to read it more like reading Declaration of Independence, etc. So he kind of along the same path as his son.
When's the
He
last
all
time you read that? When's the last time you read the Declaration of Independence?
well, I'm as an AP government teacher.
You've read it cover to cover.
We have to read it, but I get what you're saying. We're not
You
reading the
cozied up on
primary
the couch, and
we're not reading the primary source document. So we're reading, replicas certainly. Gary Bailey also agrees all-star games are not worth the time. And he feels the same way about award shows because I had mentioned Jimmy V and award shows. Max and him met Jimmy V, and Max has a photo with Jimmy Valvano. Max didn't
oh,
even mention that to us. I was surprised. And then, Jill, we all kind of agreed some of the things that could be taught about, what kids can do and what can be taught in schools. And, so she was more agreement with you than anything about some of the basic skills that can be taught in schools.
I saw somebody on TikTok, and I know you're anti-TikTok,
I'm not
Mike.
anti-TikTok, but anyway, go ahead.
Well, the good news is I saw Mr. Wonderful clip today on TikTok saying that I guess the final extension is coming up for remember the law that was passed way back that was TikTok was going to be banned.
Yeah.
Remember
Oh,
that?
it's
Remember that?
yeah,
Just like the
yeah.
tariffs and everything. Supposedly, this next one is firm. It's going to end up being gone.
Yeah, we'll see. Now, when you say Mr. Wonderful, do you mean Paul Orndorff, former wrestler?
No, I mean
WWF?
Mr. Wonderful from
Yeah,
um,
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. Now I've lost totally my train of thought of where I
Yeah,
was
we
going.
don't off the rails again.
Um, let's see if I had any other feedback. No, I think that was pretty much it. That's everything I got. Do you
Okay,
have anything else?
that's it.
Oh no, no, I know what it's saying. Back on there's the boom. This boomer was going on. Teachers should teach about balancing a checkbook and this and
Oh
that.
yeah,
And a person refuted it, basically listing like what are like because the guy was even like saying like doing a load of laundry. I'm like, what are things that like parents need to do some things too?
yeah, right. Doing a load of laundry. We're teaching.
I mean, I'll
Wow.
teach that class.
Yeah,
I always thought laundry was like the easiest thing in the world. Like you pour something in a cup, you put it, and you hit a button. Like we're not sitting
yeah.
there like scrubbing it on the washboard.
Is this a semester long course?
Highly effective. Did you here? Listen, don't dry something if it has a stain in it. Wash it on cold. Once you put it in the dryer, it's done. Look, I'm highly
Wow.
effective.
I mean, this was a serious person saying this.
Yes. Oh, boomer.
Oh my God. Well,
Um,
listen, man, I gotta tell you, I was watching a movie with Bill Burr. And he's a very interesting comedian, but he does some really interesting things. I know how you feel about comedians, you hate them. You feel like they should be banned too. But he's a little bit older than you and I are, but he was called a boomer in one of these things where he's going on a rant. Okay, boomer. So I think we're entering that
oh
category,
yeah.
even though we're really not even close, where
No.
people are going to start calling us that for some of our takes.
Yeah. Isn't Obama a boomer? Isn't that what I say? Yeah, because we don't have a Gen
He
X
would be,
president.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
surprised by that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Tessa, our stock questions of our guests. We ask this every episode. When we have a guest, imagine it's your birthday. You can have any meal you want, whether it be out to eat or cooked for you. What is that meal? And if it is out to eat, where is it?
Okay, this is like kind of specific, but it's not out to eat, but
Okay,
it's in a different
that's the
location.
norm
Okay.
usually when we do this.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be up north, okay, because I feel like things just taste better up north. All right. And my grandma's gonna cook it for me. And it's probably gonna be sloppy joes and corn from up north. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna
Corn on the
finish.
grill.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna finish it off probably. I've got to go strawberry pretzel salad for dessert.
Oh, yeah, I missed out on
Wow.
this. Tessa is an expert in this dessert, I hear.
Okay. Tessa, before we get into my question, I have a different one for you because when you said sloppy Joe, my mind goes somewhere all the time. And I just happened to watch the movie Happy Gilmore 2. When I hear the word sloppy Joe, I hear sloppy Joe,
Yeah,
slop.
Lunch Lady Land, Adam
Okay, so
Sandler.
you know
Yep.
that. Okay, so
Yeah.
all right, well that's good. All right, and my question is, when you're having this meal of sloppy joes, who are you eating with? One person that's alive. Who are you gonna have it with?
Um, Probably my sister. I know like I could pick anyone in the world, but my sister's probably one of my favorite people. And we're both so busy and we don't get a lot of time alone together anymore. We don't live together anymore. So yeah, probably my sister.
That's cool. Mike, most of the time it is family. Now, I gotta just anecdotally just say one thing. Having had both Tessa and Ella, correct, in class, it's really interesting to me because my kids are so drastically different from each other. You get that as a teacher from time to time. Tessa and Ella in the classroom are two very, very different personalities. One very introverted, one very outgoing. Both very, very wonderful students, but that's like my recollection of the two of you in the classroom.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Great. Again, most people do pick home cooked, and most people do pick a family member or someone that they know, not a celebrity. So you're right on. And Tessa didn't know our questions
No, she
coming
did
into
not.
this, so she did. You did really well. That was, you didn't know what was coming. So, all right, our education topic, as we always do with guests, and Tessa has a great story. I think like if you look at, it, we might have to change like our heading of our show, education slash medical, because we've had, I think nurses have been our most frequent
Yeah,
guests,
you're
other than
right.
teachers.
You're right.
So we're going to be pretty soon. We're going to be um, like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. We're going to be medical experts soon. So I, with Tessa, we want her to come on and talk today about, and we want you to share with our audience, especially like our high school students that are going on. We've talked a lot of people talk about how nursing's a great career to get into, even with all the AI stuff going on. But we want to talk about the path that you took starting in high school with a 2021 grad. You were right in the heat at the end of your schooling of the COVID outbreak, which had to be crazy when you were factoring on healthcare. But sort of like what you did in high school or sort of when you got the idea that nursing was going to be for you, the path that you took education wise, and sort of like the within that program, like jobs that got you to where you are today. So why don't I'll turn it over to you and let you just share with us and our audience of how you started along this path.
Yeah, so I knew that I wanted to go into nursing. My mom was a nurse, and my older brother also had done the vocational program. My mom is like really big about all of us doing vocational. My sister did vocational too. So I did the health careers program starting my junior year. I was at Grozeal, and that was a lot of in classroom stuff. We also got to do a couple field trips. I got to go to a cadaver lab, which was super cool. I was like
Hmm.
15 in the cadaver lab, and like other people are sitting in math class, which is crazy. Um, and I actually still look back to like that first year of vocational because I got to learn, we would like diagram medical terms and learn all the prefixes and suffixes, which was actually so helpful throughout like all of my schooling. And then even now as a nurse, like it's so much easier to read charts and everything because of that first year of vocational. And then, of course, the pandemic hit. And for my senior year, I was supposed to be in hospital, actually. I was supposed to be at Wyandotte Hospital, but because of the pandemic, that wasn't able to happen. But we still got a lot of really cool experiences. We had a lot of guest speakers come in. We did simulations. I think we did like a blood simulation where we had to like don PPE and like clean up all this blood. We learned how to do stitches on a chicken leg, which is crazy. Like that's totally out of my scope. I would never do that now, but like it was a really cool experience, especially I had a great vocational teacher my senior year. Um,
Okay,
and
so your senior year was the year that we were like Wednesdays at home.
yes,
So how did
yes.
they do that with vocational? Because I'm totally ignorant to that. Because so like if you were a Voc student,
I
did
still went
because
to Vogue.
so did you go to Voc every day other than the Wednesday or even Wednesday?
Yeah, and my block scheduling, yeah, I went every single, like I went all 5 days.
Okay.
And then the way my block schedule was set up was like one of the or like two of the days because I only had 3 hours at Carlson. So then I'd have like a bigger gap in between Carlson and then that was Wyandotte. Which honestly I like because I could go home, I could change, I could eat lunch. So I wasn't really complaining there, but
Okay.
yeah,
So you did have Voc all 5 days.
I
And that was
did.
the same for everyone that pretty much had the 2 hour Voc. They
Hmm.
would they would go. Okay.
So Tessa, let me ask if you don't mind just interjecting, not related specifically to the nursing program or what you learned, the Voc thing, but uh, if you could go back and kind of pick the model, did you like the 2021 version, the COVID model of education, or the conventional one we had before and
Oh no,
since?
I did not like the COVID stuff. I did
No.
not like the online stuff. I hated it. I hated what was it, Schoolology? That was terrible.
Oh,
Um,
Schoology, yeah.
yeah,
We
that
still are on
was
that. We're still using that. So
no, that was so bad. I liked when stuff was on paper. I liked being in the classroom. And yeah, I think I don't know. That was tough.
interesting.
And obviously I got used to things as I went into college and it was all on the computer, but I don't know. I'm very much a hands-on learner, so it was difficult for me to adjust, I think. But honestly, I guess looking back, it helped with my transition into college.
Sure.
Um, and yeah, so then my senior year, obviously, I was applying to all sorts of colleges. And in nursing, they usually have some schools have direct admit programs where you don't have to reapply to nursing school. You just start in nursing school as soon as you um, enter college. And luckily, I was accepted into Wayne State's direct admit nursing program, which was pretty rigorous. I had to fast track all my prereqs in 1 year. I think I did 18 credit hours both
Ooh,
semesters.
Wow.
That was really tough, but it was worth it. In the direct admit program at Wayne State, you have like mandatory study groups. The direct admit program is only about 30 people, and then you have your study groups within the program, and it kind of forces you to have friends, make friends, which gave me a support system through nursing school, and I'm still like best friends with all the girls from my study group. That was great. Um, yeah, and then I got my sophomore year of college is when like I really got into like the nursing school content. Um, and from there, like it's kind of blurry. It was a lot. But it was like I don't know. I think initially there's like a shock when you start clinical because you think you know what it is like to be a nurse. And then like I remember walking in the hospital, my first clinical, and like seeing how sick these people actually were. Seeing my first clinical was at Henry Ford, Maine. Um, and it was in 2023, so it was still pretty short staffing. It was like February 2023. And then I was scared, I was really scared seeing how the nurse, like the patient nurse ratios weren't the best. Especially then. Shortages are getting better, but they're still not great. But at that time, like it was bad. People were really sick. Um, and it was definitely an adjustment, but I got through it. And, at this point, school's so hard. I'm seeing these people that are so sick. It makes me question, like, why do I even want to be a nurse? But then it was before long, it was my junior year where I started my externship, which I started at Children's Hospital in Michigan. I was on an infant toddler med surg floor, but they would float me around the hospital. And that was so different from any clinical that I had ever had. I was working with the nurse, usually the same three or four nurses. I got to learn a lot and I got to build like long-lasting relationships, I guess. Some of my patients were there for like, I think my longest patient was there for like 10 months. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so you get to know these kids. A lot of them are in foster care or their parents live far, so they really only have you. Um, and that gave me a lot more purpose, a lot more drive. And my externship was also very important as far as like I had never worked in a hospital. And right now, as a new grad, it's pretty competitive getting a job. And I wanted to work in a specialty, and I don't think that without that externship, I would be able to be where I am today. And then another thing that got me like through the junior year questioning, why the hell am I in nursing school right now? What am I doing? Was Trails Edge Camp for ventilator dependent kids. Um, it's a summer camp out of Mayville, Michigan. It's funded by U of M, and I think there's usually around 30 kids that attend camp. They're all ventilator dependent. Um, and some of them at night, some during the day. A lot of them are paralyzed, wheelchair bound. And this camp makes it completely accessible for the kids. There's a tree house that like brings them up into the trees. They have, they get to go in the water. They have a big dance at the end of the week. This year we did a hot air balloon. I got to go in a hot air balloon with my
oh,
camper.
wow.
Wow.
Um, and then it just gives them that sense of normalcy, right? Because they're around all these kids that have similar abilities to them. Um, and I think camp is the best thing that I've ever done. The best thing that I'm going to continue to do. I went back this year for my second year. I'm with the same girl that I was last year. I'll be with her until she graduates camp. And I think that camp, when school got hard my senior year, even now, like when work gets hard, or when I was studying for my NCLEX, oh my God, the NCLEX. When I was studying for my NCLEX, that was so tough. But what kept me going is like thinking about the kids at camp, the kids I get to show up for, um, and how lucky I am to be in the position that I'm in. Um, and then, yeah, so camp, reaffirmed to me that nursing is what I'm meant to do. But I don't know, I didn't necessarily want to stay at Children's. Um, so my senior year, your senior year of nursing school, you get to do, they call it immersion. Some places call it like a preceptorship, where you're paired with a nurse your last semester. You work however many hours at Wayne State. It was like 120, so 10 shifts. I was paired with a nurse at Beaumont Trenton in the emergency department, and there's where I fell in love with the emergency department. I got to see a lot. The staff there is incredible. And so then I fell in love with emergency nursing, and luckily I was able to get the job that I have now, which is a lot more, a lot different than Beaumont Trenton. Obviously, I'm in Detroit now. I'm at a level one trauma center. I'm seeing a lot. I'm learning a lot. Um, but yeah, completely, yeah, it's difficult. Nursing has been difficult, but it's been so much more rewarding than difficult, if that makes sense.
How did you get turned on to the camp? Like, was that something that was at Children's advertised or through your schooling
So
or?
one of my clinical instructors is actually one of the camp nurses there. She's been involved for a long time, and she got me into it with a couple of my friends that were in my clinical group at the time.
Okay.
So now it's pretty special. I get to go with those girls um, every year.
Mike, I got one more
Excellent.
question
Go
before,
ahead, Mike.
unless
Go
you do.
ahead. I have something, but go ahead.
I may have asked, by the way, to clarify too, Tessa and I are coworkers at the golf course, which will play into it in the future. So like, I may have asked you this before at work. I don't remember if I did. Have you watched The Pit yet
I'm like
on
halfway
that?
through the pit. I'm like
Okay.
so bad at watching TV because I just don't have the attention span. But it
So
is
what are
real.
your thoughts as a now
Yeah.
working in a E1 a trauma, ER nurse?
It's really realistic. Um, it's yeah. Sometimes I don't know. I don't know if I can watch it because it's just like I'm not getting paid to watch it, you know? Whereas like at work, you know.
We already know my co-host cannot watch it. There's no way.
No,
Episode one, the first scene, he would be out like totally.
I, it, yeah, and it's getting worse. Although I just to let you know, I've taken some steps to try to modify this, so I'll keep the listener
That's good because
on
you're going to
track
need
with
like
it.
a colonoscopy pretty soon, and that's stuff you got to get done.
Yeah, I did a different version of that, but again, I don't think anybody
That's,
wants to know that. Um, all
I
right,
bet you
so
didn't think this was going anywhere near this, Tessa,
no,
when
and I don't
we're
even know
not
what to
asking
say
for.
at this point. So Tessa, any like just as a general, like were there any? I know you kind of mentioned some adversity you encountered. Now that you're kind of like through it, are you any two-part question? Number one, how do you think I'm just curious, the K through 12 education prepared you or didn't prepare you? Any thoughts on that? And secondly, any second thoughts at all? It sounds like you don't, but I'm just kind of curious about that too.
So the K through 12 education, I think vocational did really prepare me, but also this is like crazy. I didn't realize like while there is some diversity at Carlson, like I had
Mm.
no idea. Like I was like so sheltered. And then going to Wayne State, working in the city, being in the city, like my brain is like basically completely rewired now. I've gotten to experience like so much more. So like that was probably the biggest thing that I don't feel I was prepared for. But honestly, I think everybody goes through that when they go to college. Um, and then second thoughts. Sometimes I have second thoughts when I'm working 4 12-hour shifts in a row. But then I get those 4 days off and those thoughts are gone.
Mhm.
Um, so no, I love my job. I love what I'm doing. I feel I'm really big about just trying to leave the world better than I found it, and I think nursing has been my best avenue to do that I know of.
Excellent. It's funny. I did my student teaching in East Dearborn at Fortson High School, and it's 25, 30 minutes away, but effectively it could be a world away compared to Carlson, so and I'm always taken aback by that. I'm so glad you said that. I always, I'll tell my daughters this is not the world. The world is much different than this. And not saying this is bad or good or anything like that, but it's just interesting you say that. We don't hear that very often from our guests, Mike, that have gone
No,
through
we
college.
don't. But it's something we've talked about going, because even going just to Eastern Michigan, and I spent time. You go to any major university campus, but even at Eastern Michigan, it was a shell shock to me, and not only like different people from different countries and cultures, but like even people like that were from like up north, like small town up north, like Mayo and the sort of thing that
Yeah, right.
all of a sudden we were like the big city. So like
Sure.
I can only imagine what their shell shock was. But you're right. It's and again, really, Wayne's. That is one of the things when we tell people to sort of go to a 4-year school is that's something that you don't get anywhere else.
No.
It's immersion for
And
sure. So
I always come back to when I interviewed after having student taught at Fordson, and I interviewed at different places. And this is coming on the heels of 9/11, and the Iraq War. The bizarre questions I was getting from folks on the other end that at first I kind of laughed off and then realized it's really, and I'm saying this in a play manner, this is not, the pejorative term that people use in everyday language, but it was just ignorance. And again, it just stems from the fact that you're a world away from people. And when you immerse yourself in these college experiences, it certainly opens your eyes to that. So I'm glad you touched on that, Tessa.
yeah, that was a great job. Speaking of me not doing a great job, we skipped Tessa's mic of the week
Oh
before
my
we got to the
goodness.
education topic, and she says she has one. So Tessa, who is it?
My mic of the week this week is Mike Pahody, actually, because
Oh,
Oh,
he organized this for me, and also because at Lake Erie we do, I don't know if it's still being done because I haven't been there in weeks, but we do the Lemp Emp of the week, and I don't think that Mike Pahody made it. I don't know if you
I
made
have
it.
not made it. It's up in the office. I forget who it is. It has changed, so somebody's doing it,
Okay.
but I don't think it's as frequently and as well done as you have. I did make the calendar this year.
Hmm.
I was happily, and by the way, thank you very much. My head's
wow.
getting so
And I
big.
can't wait. I know your head's gonna be huge. I can't wait for Tom Pack's, his collage on this one, what he's gonna do
I,
for you here.
I hope Dr. Rice doesn't void this because it's like a conflict of interest. He can. It's a guest. He cannot
It's a guess.
void a guest decision. Thank you, Tess. I agree. And by the way, and you may not be as happy when you hear this. Tess and I are we're trying to do a collaboration on a food review at Lake Erie Metro Park too. We've only worked together one day this season, and I was not hungry at all that day, so I felt
Oh, here we
awful.
go.
And I'm like, don't worry, we'll have another day. We can get this chicken Caesar wrap out of the way. The hot new menu item at Lake Erie Metro Park
Hey,
Golf
hey,
Course.
Tessa, next question to date yourself, and I'm sure this is one you don't know. Are you familiar with the singer Bobby Brown and his time with New Edition?
No.
Okay, Bobby Brown was a famous 80s and 90s and even 2000s R&B singer
Married,
who's
married to
married to Whitney
Oh, married
Houston,
to Whitney
the
Houston.
late great Whitney Houston. Bobby Brown started with New Edition, another R&B group, and they were a big thing with it. But Bobby Brown wanted more money and started doing his own thing. Was clearly better with New Edition, but just always wanted to break off. And so this is kind of the comparative that I make with Mike Piotti here and TikTok.
How come you've never guest starred on his TikTok?
He hasn't asked me. We did. So I will tell Mike, we're gonna explain how the sausage is made right now. One time though, during during a football game, Mike was trying to do a TikTok
He
and
called my phone.
I called his phone. Well, to be clear, it wasn't just me, but I was the one that kind of kept the joke going. And I ruined the TikTok. Tessa, you would have thought I went to his house and kicked his dog and did some
You're right, Tesla. Like if you make a call mid TikTok, it takes over the microphone and then ends the whole recording.
Right.
so he was he was
And I
so
was an
angry.
amateur at that time. I didn't know that this was happening.
So former guest host Max Bailey and Aaron Torres, who's one of our employees, both were in the booth. They will tell you how awkward it was in the booth when he
It was
came
a
in there.
it was a great TikTok too. I had like Hall of Fame members in the background. It was on the field.
And,
It was
and
a great
Tessa,
shot
he even went so unprofessional as he's on the microphone, because he does the microphone for the games. He took a shot at me, and I can't defend myself
to
at
the
that
whole
point.
stadium. Yeah,
To the
I
whole
was mad.
stadium, yes, yeah. He was
I mean, valid, honestly.
So Tessa, we will do we'll do the chicken Caesar wrap some point. Hopefully you're in August.
Yeah.
Even if like I'm not working, you'll just have to text me and I'll come up there and we'll do it. We don't have to hit the same shift because who knows how that can work. All right. Speaking of golf and the golf course, overrated, underrated. Mike already said this is gonna be a tough one for him. We're doing golf, overrated, underrated golf/golf courses. Tessa and I are experts, or at least experts on the arena, not so much the playing. I haven't played since college. Mike, do we want to save you for last since you saying you have a hard
sure.
time with this?
Go
All right,
ahead. I got
Tessa,
something. Go
ladies
ahead.
first. Go ahead, guess first. What's your overrated, Tessa? Overrated does not mean bad.
Everything about golf is overrated. Okay? No. And it is bad. I'm telling you that. Well, okay, except the driving range. I love the driving range. but I think I constantly have golf pushed on me from obviously my job, and then Sarah Vanasacker and Chloe Waters. If you guys are watching, let me tell you, it's
They were
like
out yesterday.
yes,
I
it's
checked
like
them in.
propaganda. Okay, Sarah especially, she makes TikToks about golf. She Snapchats me when she's golfing. It's just like, and then I golf, and I'm so bad at golf, and they're so good at golf that it's not fun.
But
No.
you do like the range and
I
like
love
the
the
top
range.
golf.
Yes. I'm not good at the range. They all go in the ditch, but like it's fun and I don't have to find my ball afterward.
All right,
So
excellent.
if you don't mind, I'm gonna jump off that because I
Go
agree
ahead,
totally.
go ahead.
That was gonna be what I was gonna say when I've gone golfing and it's been a while, and you're with people that like to golf and they always try to get you to go, and they're like, "Yeah, we're doing 18 and you're on hole three," and like it's felt like you've been out there forever. It is so
Imagine on days like today too, where it's like
Oh
90.
my goodness, it's so painful. It just seems like, oh my God, did you try every which way to occupy your mind? And these guys are having a blast, and you're just like, God, I'm so miserable. So I'm going with Tess on this one. It is every part of it is just awful. So that's my
Oh man,
overrated.
Rocky Georgie is not going to be happy
No,
with
he will
this
not
episode.
be. Nope.
All right, my overrated, and this is, and again, I'm not the biggest fan. And the reason I stopped playing right after, because people are always like, "Why don't you play now? You got, you work at the park." I played right out of college. My college graduation gift was a set of clubs. All right, and I used to golf in outings, and my buddy and Angelo and I used to go out. It eventually became the amount of time. If you think of like the amount of time that a round of 18 takes, and how much that takes out of your day. And then eventually, if you're going for a master's or going to school, or if you have young kids, that's a lot. I don't know how these people that have like young kids, like Chloe and Nate, obviously I can do it now. But like if they were like, 5 and 7, and I told Elisa, I'm like, hey, I'm hitting the course for like 4 hours on a
Going to play
Saturday,
18. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd
Well,
come home and the house would be empty.
even like Sarah, our coworker Sarah, she's in PT school. She's in grad school. Such a rigorous program. She's at U of
Yeah.
M Flint. Studies all the time. Still makes time for golf. Like it is insane.
It,
It's
it's it's
insane.
it's a lot of time. That's my thing. Time is valuable, and that's why I have it as over. What I have is overrated. All right, underrated. What do you got, Tessa?
I think f- as far as golf goes, I'm gonna have to go golf course food is underrated.
Oh,
Okay.
Um, but don't let anybody at Lake Erie know that I said that because I don't like cooking the food. I only like eating the food. Um, but yeah, the breakfast sandwiches at the golf course, the chicken Caesar wrap. I don't know if you've gotten around to trying that. Yeah, the golf course food. Also golf course drinks. I think they have this, it's almost like a secret menu item at Lake Erie. It's like Gatorade, lemonade, Sprite, vodka. Let me tell you, they're onto something with that one. They are onto something with that one. So I'd have to go the food bar.
I think the biggest surprise I had and my dad told me a couple things like before I got started working there. To my biggest shock to me was like how much food and what's available there at the course. Like I thought it'd be just a standard hot dog, some peanuts and some beer. And let me tell you, it is a full menu there. Shockingly, that's just us here at Lake Erie. So, what do you got, Mike? What's your underrated?
so I could have gone with the obvious, but I think this isn't underrated. The feeling, and even as much as I don't like golf, if I hit a good drive, it is a nice feeling right off the bat or right off the club, I should say. That would be one. I like miniature golfing too, or kind of like miniature golf because it goes quick, but that'd be two. But again, I think those are obvious. So for me, this is more personal in nature, but I enjoy learning like what club to use at different times. Obviously, when to use a putter and the driver and all that stuff. But I like the different clubs and the golf aficionados explaining to me what to use and why. So that's my underrated.
Yeah. My underrated, and this sort of goes back to, and this could be any course. I still remember as a young kid when we went to California once, we drove around Pebble Beach. No one ever played, but the natural beauty of some of these courses, even at Lake Erie, one of my favorite parts of the job, and I don't get to do it much because as a starter, but when I'm a cart guy, I get to do it, is when you go out at the end of the night to kick people off. And it's like last night we had some people playing really late, and you get to drive basically the whole back nine just to make sure no one's out there. And the animals start coming out, the
Hmm.
sun's setting, it's dead quiet, nobody else is around. So good courses that have natural beauty, and Lake Erie does. I mean, we're again, what's one of these things where we always say it's right in our backyard. I'm not just talking about the course, but even the park. We have this beautiful area that we sort of just take for granted. And I really enjoy it. Like I said, I always want to be a cart guy at least once closing, because I'll always volunteer to go, hey, I'll go do that last drive through. Although one time on the front when I did my drive through, I came across a group of skunks and it freaked me out a
Oh,
little bit. But yeah,
yeah.
but there's deer, there's turkey, the sun setting, natural beauty. That's definitely an underrated aspect. So
Okay.
there we go. I think we didn't slander anybody. Everyone's going to be
No,
happy, I think. So, all right, hot mic take. Tessa, do you have anything on your that you want to? Are you good?
I'm good.
Everything's good. Everything's good. Mike, what do you have this week?
okay, so I've talked before about my disdain for greeting cards, and I think I found a solution. And I hope the good folks at Hallmark that makes us wonderful movies that people love
Terribly
around
overpriced
Christmas
item.
time, yeah, aren't upset with me about this. But as you know, and the listener knows, I just got married, and we went through our cards here to send thank yous. And we had a person, and I'm not sure who, because it got lost in the shuffle of figuring out, who we're sending thank yous to. But somebody gave a gift card, I'm sorry, a greeting card that was blank. Okay.
Ooh,
Oh, you see where we're going with this? We can
yeah.
now take said greeting card and regift it, right? And as long as we put
Oh,
it,
I thought you were worried about giving the thank you.
no, because I'm assuming that whoever did this put a check in there. You
Oh,
know what
okay.
I mean? And now
Yes.
you can regift
Oh,
this
use the
thing.
card.
Use the card. We use the card. We won't put our names on it. We'll put a check in there so they know that, hopefully they're writing down so they don't need to keep a log. But we came across this card. It was blank. I'm like,
Oh,
that's
you think that
awesome.
people should start doing this?
People start doing it.
Undercut the card industry. I like
I'm
this idea.
sorry to say it. I don't like putting people out of work ever, but when you spend $6, $7, $8 on a card that is just going to be looked at for no more than about 10 seconds, this is my hot mic. I'm very
Well, there
excited
you
about
go.
this
Your
development.
solution. Or like I said, Dollar General is where to go get cards
That's
because
the
you can
other
get like two for a
alternative.
dollar. I mean, I think I picked yours up at Meyer, and they were doing a thing like buy two cards, get $3 off. So it really wasn't that bad. It was actually okay.
Sure,
And
sure.
then I'm like, and this again, I made the dumb mistake of not reaching out to my wife. I'm like, okay, what two cards do I need? I'm like, all right, well, I'll get this wedding card. Well, the next birthday up in the household is Chloe's. It's not till November 30th. That's how everything's May
Mhm.
otherwise. So I'm like, oh, she's turning 21. So I'll get a good card for 21, right? So I bought a 21st birthday card and your wedding card. I get home, I'm all proud. And of course, my wife's like, I already got a card for 21st birthday.
So
So the good
Nate will
news is
be
I have that one for
right.
Nate.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, just thinking about the cards. I was thinking about this, where the ones I remember from the wedding are the two, and I'll say their names. I don't think they'll care. Dan Coflesh and Carrie Shane, who bought the cards. Now, both of them said it was because they ran out of wedding cards. So one of them, I think, was to a graduate. And
Oh,
then one
nice.
graduate was those are the only two I remember reading because I read what people wrote and stuff like that. But these are,
Yeah.
it's in on one ear out the other, and it's just like it frustrates me so much when I go to the store and buy one. And you're right, it's
Yeah.
convenience when you're at the grocery store. So there it is.
I,
I've solved the issue.
yeah. All right. I like that solution. That's very good. You get on that with CNBC or something. My hot mic take more AI stuff. I saw something, a news story on AI today. Now, this is not about, this is the other end of AI because it's a twofold thing. I got my DTE bill the other day. All right. Got hammered by DTE. And that's because the air has been on nonstop. It's been
Yeah,
very hot, blah, blah, blah. I saw a thing today that AI, AI uses a ton of electricity. Did you know this?
I did
That
not.
this is the story that I was reading that AI electricity use alone, AI processing in the state of Wyoming is now going to overtake all other use of electricity combined in the state of Wyoming. So we have a way to finally, I think, kill AI. It's it's going to be the electricity. This pull the plug literally
Pull the plug.
because every 9 out of 10 things I hear about it are bad.
Yeah.
Delta just got zinged because they want to start using AI because they're gonna read into like what some people are sending, and like if you type the word funeral or something, like, oh, this person will pay more for a ticket. Like everything I hear is bad for the most part. Writing is becoming worse. Like
Sure.
I and here's mine. If my DT bill was like this high without AI mining all this damn electricity, then let's definitely get rid of it and let's start lowering electricity rates. So again, I'm 100%. Maybe you can call me a boomer. I'm off the AI train. I'm
No,
stepping
I
off.
agree. I agree with that completely. I a few months back read an article about how it's contributing to global warming because of all the electricity being used. And since then, like I'm anti-Chat GPT.
Yeah. And like half the time people are typing stupid stuff. It's not even used for something real. So now we're wasting electricity on, again, I'd rather cool my house than ask somebody, to write an email for me. I can write the email.
If I may, I happen to just read something from a man by the name of Francis Collins, who was in charge of Health and Human Services and has done brilliant work in the field. And he spoke about how AI could help solve and is in the process of solving a lot of diseases and stuff like that. So I don't want to make this a complete
Oh, you
bash
don't,
session.
I shouldn't completely step off.
Correct.
Well, all right. Maybe there's a way you can opt out of it so your DT bill's a little lower. Like if I promise not to use it.
There you go. There you go.
If you had a choice, AI or central air, what are you taking?
I mean, it
Central air,
has to be
100 out of
central
100
air.
times.
Yeah, I mean that was my underrated, walking into a place in the heat, when you're in the heat,
That should
you
go
walk
for like
in.
a national referendum, a national vote. The United States, we have to make a decision. These two things are taking too much electricity. One of them stays, one goes. What do you think wins?
Oh,
If the general public votes, it's central air.
well, probably. I mean, but you gotta remember, like, there's people that live in parts of the country that don't get much.
Yeah, but
You don't need
there's
them.
not enough and a few dorks thrown in that would want the AI. Oh man. Well, Tessa, you were a great guest, and I'm not just saying that because you picked me as the mic of the week. I really appreciated what you said about your education and what the eye opening changes. Like I said, that's something new that we haven't heard. We do miss you at the course. So hopefully we do see you here coming up here in August. What's so funny?
I'm still thinking about you saying dorks. I hope you didn't offend anybody. You
I
gotta
probably offended
qualify
some
that.
dork, some dorks that don't mind sweating or
You
that are
better
living in Alaska or
you
something. I
better
don't know.
qualify this a little bit so we don't lose listeners.
Oh yeah. Oh, it'll be back down to 90. But I also want to congratulate you. I've said this before to you in person when you did graduate, and it's one thing to graduate college and go right into a career, but what I noticed about you and working with you for the last year, and this process you went through, it's another thing to graduate and be passionate and really, and again, we all talk about like work, but it feels like this is you, like this is right for you. And when you talked about the camp today, it came over very clearly like that's such a cool thing, and having a purpose. And it's not about money, and it's not about a certain shift, and it's not about a location. It's about something that you want to do to make the world a better place, and that's what we need more of, not robots. We need people that have a passion and wanting to do something and change the world, and I can't say enough about you.
Yeah,
So
and if I may add on to that for just a second, I think, I don't know if you did this, Mike, when you're going for job interviews, but you always try to find out, okay, what's the best answer for X, Y, and Z, these questions that they're going to ask. I think the most authentic answers are always the best. And when you talk about wanting to change the world, make the world a better place, 99.9 times out of 100, you're going to get a person on the other end that hears that. And that's awesome. So Tessa, I commit that was really cool when you said that.
Thank you both. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, hopefully I will be back at the course soon. I'll definitely be in sometime soon, whether it's going to the range or working.
and if she is out there on the course, don't forget to tip your cart girls. Or cooks if she's cooking.
Oh, just don't order anything. That would be the biggest tip.
All right, everybody. Well, it's good to see you. We'll be back next week. Have a great week. And thank you again, Tessa.
Thank you.